dress casual. That was me. I was like, I just tie-dyed this shirt. Let me throw it on.
I love it. I went from one sweatshirt to another sweatshirt for tonight.
I know. So it's like, let me go to the comments. So as people are joining, we're going to wait for some people to come on. I'm going to hit my welcome Lori banner right there.
Oh, I need to get on the comments as well.
Yes, there we go. So no one's joined us yet because some people are attending the pre-posh party. And but the other thing with that, that was like $5 and I didn't mind paying for that because the money is donated to Kimmy for her recovery. But other than that, I was like, I'm not feeling it. Daniela's here.
Hi, friends. Hi, Daniela. Chloe.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello. I'm so happy to see Daniela's like, I ain't dealing with Posh Fest.
I know. I feel like I'm missing all the hoopla only because I didn't get a ticket. So like I'm not privy, although I did go on to the Poshmark Instagram today to kind of like just check in and see the schedule, the Posh Fest. Yeah. So I can attend whatever is free.
Yeah, it's really my favorite. One thing, I don't know if they're going to publicize it or not, because I'm not going to really do sessions, especially like if Hope's not going to be there. I definitely do want to check out Blake, and I have 2 other friends that I really don't want to miss. But he's going to be chatting with Serena Williams.
I saw that. That's
she's
pretty
a board member,
exciting.
and she had announced last year that she was going to be there. So virtually, they're going to be having a conversation. So I definitely don't want to miss Manish or Serena. And
those are public or are those paid?
I believe that they're public, so they'll probably be on YouTube.
So the riffraff can watch.
I know. And it was like really is like none of the speakers, unless it's something on that I don't know about, none of the speakers are getting paid. So really the cost was all about this great swag. And like the coffee cup is too small for me.
Oh no.
I needed a planner. I have to have a giant mug in the morning. I did it. I took some photos with it, and I was like, wait a minute. I need 4 of those to satisfy me.
You'll have to be like double fisted with those, Leslie.
So, but other people were like, yeah, I'm going to use it as like a pen holder. So at least
that's true.
I'm doing something with it. Its life is growing in it, right?
That's right. That's good. That's excellent. I don't own a single piece of Poshmark swag, not a note card or a t-shirt. I swear there've been a couple times that I've wanted to hop on and get the sweatshirts and I'm always late. I've never like gotten,
Yeah. I'm like, nah. I mean, the box left. I mean, it was okay. I got a bag and I tie-dyed that, so that's perfect for taking packages to the post office and carrying things around. It's not going to go to waste. And I love the postcards. I hosted 5 Posh and Sips last year, so they sent me 500 of the postcards. Wow! So I have a bunch of them. This is not even like I have a bunch of these in every kind of.
That's so nice. You just pop them into certain packages and
sign the back. I have stickers, so it's like some of the stuff they give you. So when I look at it and go like, yeah, I'm not paying for that. I'll wait for it. I have like, I'm sitting right at my shipping desk. So I have Poshmark tape.
Oh, cute.
They gave me all this stuff. I'm not paying for this stuff.
You know, it's so embarrassing. So I ordered like an 8 roll of my Scotch packing tape and it came in from Amazon, and my husband and I, we have no idea where it is. And funny enough, like I feel like my house has never been so peaceful because it's just Rocco at home. Angelina's kind of a whirlwind, and Anthony has all his particulars, and we're just like chill with the 3 of us, and we can't find it. So I've been using all of my eBay tape from my store on my Poshmark package. Literally keeps me up at night. Like it really bothers me.
Oh my God. So a couple friends are here. Margaret's here. Hello.
Hey, Margaret. How are you?
Blake.
Hi, honey.
Talking about you, my love, Blake. I can't wait to see you. We were just talking about you.
We were. Hi, Cynthia.
People that we want to see and not miss. Hola, Cynthia. ¿Cómo está? Deb. Hello, Deb. It went real quick.
Right, Daniela? I know you feel me, girl.
Yeah. So for people who don't know you, just introduce yourself, Lori. See, we're having a conversation because Lori and I are really good friends.
Sure. Well, thank you all for joining us. My name is Lori. I am at Lori's Boston Found. On Poshmark, it's just Lori Boston Found, no S. And yeah, I have a YouTube channel. And Leslie and I had the great opportunity to meet last year at a podcast that she hosted, like a gathering. in Boston. She flew up to meet us. And because of Daniela, I was connected to Leslie. And then I met so many wonderful people at that event. It was Jen from
with that sweet baby that she had. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to get my hands on her. She's so cute. And Lisette and so many people, Tracy, I've met so many great people from that. So, that was the kind of beginning of the growth.
Yeah, I was saying to Lori that, even though like Lori and I haven't talked, I still feel a connection, because what I try to do is just see what my friends are doing, and I think that we should do that even though we're virtually, just every single day, so that even when we do finally meet up with them, we can have some type of conversation, and we're not trying to go, well, so what are you up to? And what are you up to? You're actually invested in a person's life. And that's how I felt going to Boston. Because I wanted to make connections. I really miss making those connections, and I'm probably going to start like coming out a little bit more, but just at a social distance, because I think that, we should be able to do that, not be afraid to do that, So first of all, Lori's like a phenomenal reseller. This is how it happened. I met Daniela, who contacted me. Daniela and I became friends. And I said, I'm coming. It was right after Posh Fest, and I made the decision. Boston happened to be first. And it actually, I told Daniela, because she was like, well, I'm no one special. To me, you are. I want to go places where people are, but I also want to go places people I know. Like, I don't want to get there and say, oh, I want to meet 25 people, and I know no one.
Right.
So I happened to know Daniela was there. Like, I literally didn't know Lizette. I didn't know anyone. So that got the ball rolling, and then I put out a post, and then Daniela said, have you heard of this person named Lori? Lori Tata. I was like, no. And she said she would be perfect. And I reached out to Lori, and that's how it got started. So it's like phenomenal how these connections are made. But then the cool thing is the small group of people, was 9 to 10 people in a room, came to my hotel room. Now, for people who don't understand it, to me, that's like such a humbling experience to know that someone wants to be around you and spend time with you, right? You don't have to be celebrity status just for people to spend time with you. I think that speaks to who you are as an individual. So they came, and then we broke bread, but it was such a great experience. But what I loved about the whole trip, the first thing I loved is that Daniela came early, and then she stayed late, and I got to know her a little bit better. But then Daniela and Lori were like, okay, we have a surprise for you. And the surprise, Lori.
The surprise was that we were starting a podcast. And we were, and that was Daniela. Just, she was raring to go, and I knew very little about podcasts, and I am kind of just a person who, if something feels good, I kind of go for it. I don't always like think things through, but like I have a gut feeling about stuff. I was saying to Daniela the other day that she's like Ryan Seacrest. I'm like, she makes all these connections, and she knows people, and she'll be like, oh, by the way, so-and-so is going to be on the podcast. I'm like, oh my God, when did you talk to them? She's like sliding up in everybody's DMs to meet people. And I'm like, oh, that's so great. She really is a person who just connects the dots. And I'm just so grateful because, gosh, that little group that met in Boston. And to be honest, I was doing my thing, and I knew this community was here, and I was tapping in on some level, but I had never been to a Posh and Sip. I had never hosted anything. I'd never been to Posh Fest. And I was just kind of grinding away, doing my own thing. And so that was really nice, because now when I see people pop up on Instagram, I'm like, oh, that's my New England girl. Like, I know her, we met. Or, I ran into one of our friends from that dinner that day at the Bins one day, and we took a picture, and then, you do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really amazing how, because Danielle is very hesitant about those kind of things don't really interest her. Now the sourcing, she'd get together real quick. I mean, because I see her, she and Jen and and they're going together and sourcing, but she's really not interested in going to like the events. So it really meant a lot to me. Not only that she came, but she drove, because she's not in Massachusetts, she's in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that was a hike for her. Where were we, in Woburn? Did we go to Woburn?
Yes, we were
in Woburn. Yeah.
Yes. some people drove up to 2 hours to spend time with me. And so I just,
you're worth it. You're worth every mile. Think of how far you traveled to see us.
Yes, it's exactly. So but it still was just like amazing to me. And same thing happens like now when anytime I go somewhere, which I really haven't been going anywhere, but I am moving down to North Carolina. So a few weeks ago I said, oh, I'm coming down if anyone's interested. So I had about 10 people, but Thomas and I experienced some car trouble. So I couldn't go as far as I had intended. So I'm like, look, this is where I'm going to be. 3 people came and none of them drove less than an hour to come spend time with me.
That's
and Cynthia, who's here, came and met me. It's like amazing. So, and I'm like, wow. So I'm already starting to get a group together there, and I plan on going to Atlanta soon. And so
I can't wait till we can all get out there again.
Yeah, I just, oh my God, I really want to get out to LA because I want to spend some time with Blake. And I like, it's just, it's so weird what's going on. I feel like I'm in a twilight zone a lot of the time.
I know. I was going to connect with Quenby because Jay and we celebrated 25 years in June, but because Angelina was graduating, we said, let's just chill. Let's get her this was all pre-COVID. We started making plans.
Right.
So when we first got married, we moved to San Francisco, and we lived in San Francisco from 96 to 99 until I got pregnant with Anthony. Then we moved home, and we haven't been back since. So I said, let's go back to San Francisco. So we had this beautiful trip planned through Napa Valley, like the train through Napa and San Francisco. And I was going to hook up with Quenby because she's not far from where we were staying. We had incorporated a couple of days at the Bins. I wanted to connect with Courtney, but she's more in Southern California. So and we just had to cancel. We finally just said it's not happening. Like certain things were open. Some hotels were, some of the tours weren't. It was just too touch and go. So we just canceled. So it's so sad because I've been dying to get out to LA as well to see people.
Yeah, we're going to have to do it because Quenby mentioned she jumped in real quick on Sunday with her mom. She had been talking about her mom. So she jumped on her own live and introduced her mother to everyone. And she just said that, hopefully she can have her make her summer plans because she usually comes down in the summer to the New England area. And I was like, come down, I'm down there. I was like, I don't care where I'm at, So
that would be great.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. And I think we can do it. My thing is, I'm really more interested in any place I can drive to, whereas getting on a plane. Yeah. That's better for me because I'm in my own car and I can just go. And Thomas never minds driving anywhere, but it's just to get on the plane intentionally wanting to take a vacation, Right. Like I was going to ask you, like you took both of your children. First of all, how does that feel to have 2 children in college, a freshman and a senior?
Yes.
Hello.
I know, it's so bizarre.
Same school, Pennsylvania, Penn State.
That has been amazing.
I claim Penn State as one of our schools because I'm from Philly. So yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh, there's so much Philly pride at that school. In fact, the year the Patriots played the Eagles.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Anthony was in the streets of State College, like flashing, like if he saw somebody from Massachusetts, like he was zipped up because he was like worried those Eagles fans were going to get cut. Yeah. But he loves Pennsylvania. I think the people in Pennsylvania are so nice. They're such nice people. Yeah,
State College
an edge here in Boston.
Though. It's really nice up in that area. City is nice too. So if you get a chance, that's like you're traveling. So you're up at Penn State, and you're like, oh, let's go to Philly. So that becomes a trip, let's go to Lancaster, let's travel. So that makes it really nice when you're there. So you're not just like stuck at Penn State.
Yeah, State College is in the middle of freaking nowhere.
It really.
Oh my God. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to go this far? And Anthony absolutely loves it. It's been a tough beginning for Ange, because they are in their dorms and it's just super strict. They can't eat in the dining hall. Everything is takeout and they picnic outside. I mean, I think she's making the best of it. And I keep saying, you will reflect on this and, you will be a stronger person because of this, but no football games. I mean, to be at Penn State and not experience the football games is like, why am I here?
Yeah, I live in a college town. I'm smack. I mean, it's like Dorothy's house was. I say that all the time. Was put right in the middle of University of Delaware. You walk to the corner of my street. There's the stadiums, and my daughter works there, so she's out of work. They just sent her a letter and said, "Don't even think about coming back." So it's a lot of schools that are home. My daughter's best friend is at Lincoln University. That's in PA, but it's only 25 minutes away. Mm-hmm. Whereas my daughter, her school's in Florida. They're like, no go. And she has 2 medical conditions. So I was like, there's really no way you can go anyway, because I don't know how you're going to be affected. And I can't be there, like, it's not like Penn State, or it's not like Lincoln University. Something happens to her friend. Her parents are right across the street from us. 25 minutes in the car.
So different.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, just take this first semester. Let's see how it plays.
Is she taking a gap semester?
She's online learning.
She's doing virtual.
And I think it's really great for her, because she's at a 4.2, so I'm like, if she was at school, I don't know. Right. So at least get your credits and everything up, get your GPA.
Yeah. I said the same thing to Angie, Leslie.
So
Yep. Angie didn't get like the party dorm that she wanted. Mom's not too sad about that. But she was really pissed about it. So I'm like, well, it's not really what we're paying for, Angelina. I'm so sorry that you do not have a lot of parties at your dorm.
Oh my gosh, seriously, it sounds so familiar.
Oh my gosh.
It does. It sounds so familiar.
Out of state tuition, no less. You know what I mean? So I'm like, just think you can get your GPA as high as it's going to be. She's got some tough courses this semester, and everything happens for a reason.
And that's what I feel too, because this one over here is pre-med. Come on, seriously? Like, come on. You can't get it.
Hunker down.
So it's like, that's exactly. So she's up. And I'm like, wow, was high school like this? Like, so structured and everything, because college, they don't play, They
don't play. I think they've been doing a good job. And even Rocco, I was super skeptical of our district. Okay. And Rocco is kind of my baby. So I've been on him the least, so he gets away with the most. And I always say he's my brightest and my laziest. So, but having him home, like, he just has the structure that I'm not sure. He's like, I didn't do this much work in high school, and now I'm home and you guys are grilling me. I'm like, we'll get used to it, honey. We get nobody else to focus on.
I know that's exactly like this one that I have here. Like, I stayed focused on her, but then when she shows up, I'm like, can I have 5 minutes? I'm like, so you're home, but do you understand I work from home? Do you understand that? Mom, can you understand? Like,
it's funny how quickly you adjust to the space and time that is now yours, Sarah Stiles, how are you, honey?
Hello, everyone. Is it Gatto Boutique? Hello. Yes, you were on the other day. You have 2 boutiques. It's Gatto Boutique and Deja Vu.
Oh, Deja Boutique. Oh, cool.
That's a mouthful.
That's a great name. I worry about my daughter going to college senior this year. She's not organized. No. I feel like they figure it out. My Angie is Anthony's like total type A personality. And, he talks about worrying about paying for a mortgage. I'm like, dude, get a girlfriend first. Like, don't worry about your mortgage payment yet. You don't have a house. Yeah. And then Angie is like fly by the seat of her pants. I found that senior year, graduation, when the paperwork has to get in, or like when they have to start filling out their college applications. And I'm like, figure out the common app, you do it. And, there's a lot of growing pains involved, but they get there.
Yeah. And see, I love that. You sound just like me, because that's where I'm at. I stop after. I'm like, it's senior year, baby. And then Sonia, my youngest, she went to a Votech school. First she was she's a certified CNA. And so I had to pay. It's a public school, but I had to pay for like her scrubs and her books. It was medical books. Like, I paid $600 for the 4 years that she was there. Wow. So I was like, so make sure that's my money, and I want to make sure I'm getting my money. Yeah. And then the same thing you said, college app, and now you're 18. Mom, how do I do this, sweetie? That's what, just Google. Yeah. There's a YouTube video for everything. I'm pretty sure.
You know that.
Just like, how do I call the IRS? You go on YouTube.
Gosh, yeah.
I'm in advisory mode. I'm no longer a parent when my children become 18, because I want to be that person that they can like talk to, whatever. But I also want them to think. I can't go and do the stuff I used to do for them. I mean, I still have to watch out for her, because she has hydrocephalus. She has a shunt and everything. So I have to teach her how to like take care of her body and what signs, just in case there's a malfunction or anything like that. But people get amazed when I say that. But I have 5 children. I have 5 children. There's no way that I can be worried about all 5 of my children. Now they're adults. They're all adults. I have 2 home, and one just happens to be, she has Asperger's, high functioning Asperger, and she'll be 23. So I still treat her the same too, but I still have to have sensitivities and be aware of what her limitations are, But other than that, I'm like, mom's doing her thing. I'm trying to make my money.
Yeah, that's right. It's our turn now, right?
For real.
It's our turn.
Okay. Women, it is okay. Moms, dads, it's okay. Because what we forget, we love on our children, but they do leave us. Mm-hmm. That's the thing we have to remember.
Fast.
So we can call them, we can do all the stuff for them, but no matter what, they still leave us.
I kept FaceTiming you, Mom, my first time at school and my first week at school. And you're like, sorry, I'm filming a YouTube video. I'll get back to you. Sorry. She's like, I expected you to be calling me 24/7. But she was really pushing me away when she was getting close. So I'm like, you know what? I'm confident enough in my parenting and our relationship that I know what you need right now is some space from me, and just, and today she messaged me and she wrote, I can't believe I'm going to be able to hug you next week. And I was like, the first mushy text message I've got from her in 6 weeks. She's just not the type. You know what I mean? I love her to bits. She's just not that type,
Well, I'm missing my son because my son Craig is in the Army. He was in South Korea and he was delayed 3 months because of COVID. He was supposed to be home in May, but he didn't come home until August. So because of COVID, he had to go straight to his military base. This is his first time in the States in over a year, and I haven't seen him on his 2 birthdays. So now he's in upstate New York.
He's getting closer.
He's closer, but he went through the quarantine. He literally came home and they stuck him in a room, and they were feeding him like he was in prison. Like, okay, here comes your tray, and like he couldn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And then when he finally came out, he called me. He was like, "Mom, like I need a car." I'm like, "Sweetie, you do not need a car." Because you're not the first person to be at that base. You have to figure it out. Like in South Korea, it was like they lived in the city. The buses came around the base.
Oh, they had all that.
So where he is, he's much further than where he has to go. And I said, sweetie, it'll be okay. Call me in 3 weeks and I guarantee you your tune will change. But he's the one, like you were talking about Anthony, the personality, because he's all about his money. He keeps his money. He's a cheapo. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not interested in a girlfriend because they cost money. He said, he is like, so, and I'm like, that'll change and I'm okay. Take your time. You're in the military. And he was really like, I would call him, you see anybody, Mom, I'm in South Korea. I'm not coming home with a girl. I'm not going to date anybody and I'm not coming home with a wife. So, I'll worry about that. He said, Mom, I'm 21, sweetie. I wish I thought like you at 21.
Seriously. I was married at 21.
I had my first child at 21. She'll be 30 years old.
Gosh. I know. It's different. Single for saving. Yes, blessed. Yes, Blake.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hysterical. I love Blake. If you ever need a laugh or if you ever need like the best smile,
oh my gosh,
is the person. Go turn on his YouTube channel. Follow him on Instagram, because if you click, like I always click any kind of story that Blake has, because I never know if he's going to be dancing at the washing machine. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you need humor, and I'm pretty sure Blake has his down moments or whatever, and it's someone that he watches, but he brings me up all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's the truth though, Blake. We talked about it. It's the truth. And also, it's like, isn't it amazing, Lori? Like, we talk about Blake. You didn't know Blake before.
I know. And what drew me to Blake was his singing, like 100%. Like, I remember I read somewhere, there was an interview between Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres about Ellen starting her show.
Yes.
And I can't remember. I'm obviously paraphrasing, but the feedback that Oprah gave her, because she wasn't sure about the dancing at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. And Oprah was like, oh my God, you have to leave that in. Like, that is what brings everybody joy. Yeah. And that was like her signature thing. And that's how I feel about Blake. And that's what drew me to him. And in fact, I was just saying to him, I know we've never met in person, but I told him he's got a room here. So we're like a reseller hostel here.
Yeah. Hey, so come on to Philly. I'm telling you, I can't wait I go to New York. I want to meet Vicky. Look, where's Vicky at? Tell her I'll stop through. Because Craig is in upstate, but I know somebody in Buffalo. I know someone in Syracuse. I know someone in Schenectady. I was like, I can make a 3-week trip.
Yeah.
Because it's like a triangle from Buffalo, you have Syracuse, Buffalo, and then maybe slide in, if it's open, to Niagara Falls. That's where it is. It's up there.
Right. You're right there.
So I said to my friend Tasha, in the spring, I'm thinking about coming up. And she was like, well, yeah, so Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm really busy. I'm like, Tasha, like, first of all, it's the spring.
Right.
So we've never met. We've been friends for almost 2 years. So you're giving me a schedule.
Oh my gosh. Those are just two different type of people, funny. Leslie.
She was serious about it too. She was like, yeah, but so like I'm virtual homeschooling. I was like,
oh my gosh.
That's plenty of time.
That's hysterical.
But that's what keeps you grounded though. So it's like people who really are like, yeah, seriously, like I'm living my life. We're not fanning over here. And that's what I really love. The ones that are like freaking out, I'm like, I'm just Leslie, relax. It is okay. She smiled. She just came on.
There she is. Oh, Tasha.
Oh God,
gosh, too funny.
Everybody would love Blake. I met Blake last year. Blake, can you believe? Also, Vicky's near Syracuse, so I'm gonna have to slide there and meet Vicky because she has raised a phenomenal son. I've told her that he is such an awesome person. But I met Blake. I can't believe it's been a year, but Blake and I met a year ago at Posh Fest. It's so amazing that the time, it was like a blink. It'll be like next month that we met.
Right, right. I know. I was so geared up to go to Posh Fest. I was just so excited for it. And we had the whole month planned out. I was gonna do Posh Fest, then we were gonna visit the kids in Pennsylvania, then we were gonna go to California. This was gonna be like a huge travel month for us. And it's just so crazy that it's just gonna come and go and just,
Yeah. I had a lot of plans myself. And that's what I was going to keep continuing with the podcast or whatever, maybe some lives or whatever. And I just want to connect with people because now I'm an introvert. I do like being home. I like my space. But even as an introvert, I'm like, it's time for me to go, and that's how it would be. I would be home for like a month, running business, doing my regular everyday, errands and things. And I would say, okay, Thomas, it's time for us to, let's go to New York or something. And you have to do that sometimes because you're not meant to like stay in.
Right. I've become more, I think it's my nature to be home, but I like to break up my day. So I would do whatever in the morning and then maybe go thrifting and then come home or just meet a friend. I call it meetings. Jay, I have a meeting at the diner down the street with my friend. But I've been like more and more staying home. I did force myself to go out today because I have been a little bit more uncharacteristically recluse. I am not an introvert.
See, but let's talk about that. You were talking because I wrote that down. I got like scribble all on my paper.
Okay.
Talk about it. Looks like you always it's work, but it always looks like you're having so much fun when you're outsourcing. Are you having fun?
Absolutely. Yes, I am. I am having fun when I'm outsourcing. I was talking to Blake today about pallets and, the people who are excited about pallets and those of us who are not. And I just said, I was lucky enough. Well, I got like the affiliate box from B&G Trading. And then I happened to win a 25 piece box from Denali. So I got these 35 pieces at once. And it was so exciting in the unboxing. But then quickly my excitement faded for those items. And I was saying to Blake, like the hunt is just really and truly so exciting for me. Like I love it. It doesn't have to be a modern piece. I've been picking up more vintage lately. It just has to be unique and speak to me. And I think that without that, I think if I ever became a palette person, I would not be happy. Like I don't like the stuff to come, even when I have friends who give me trash bags of clothes. And like, even if there are some gems in there, I don't always get super excited. Like I get excited to go out there and get it. So yeah, I'm very happy when I'm sourcing.
That makes really exciting sense. And you've been getting some really great things. Because speaking of vintage, like I've fallen in love with vintage recently. And I haven't been doing a lot of sourcing. I am going to try to hit the Philly this weekend. And because I've been getting, I'm an affiliate for Jomar. So I've been getting a lot of stuff from Jomar. And this box that they sent me yesterday was amazing. All these 25 vintage pieces. But they're local to me. They're in Philly. They're a store I grew up with. They've been around.
You've known them for years.
For 50 years, they've been around as retail stores. The wholesale store just opened in February. So that's why it was so many bad reviews and everything, because they were just getting.
I didn't realize they were that new to wholesale.
Yes, they were February. So the retail stores all my life. My mother used to go there because they had fabric. They got rolls of fabric all around. It's just that kind of store. And this weekend is their birthday. So all the Philly stores are 50% off. So, and Thomas has been asking me to go. And the funny thing is, when we were dating and I was still in Philly and I was traveling back and forth to Delaware, I was taking him to Jomar. He totally forgot. So hopefully he'll remember it, because he's like, yeah, I got to go. We went to the warehouse together. He was like, I really want to go to the retail store. And I said, well, you've been there, but we can go. It's like 5 stores and we'll hit those. I think I'm gonna go this weekend and
fun.
Put my mask on. I know. And then like my friend Christy, I don't know if Christy's on here. Christy Blocker is from Philly as well. She actually lives in the neighborhood where the Joe Moore warehouse is.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's funny because I met her through a Posh and Sip, but she lives, it's the same neighborhood that I lived in before I moved to Delaware after I married Thomas. So she's been there for 20 years. And my kids were walking by her house to go to school.
No way.
For like 8 years.
That's crazy.
It's like amazing, like how these connections virtually are made, and then
it's unreal.
And then you're like, Christy, oh my goodness, you know, bless you.
Excuse me.
It's amazing how that happens, you know. So I've been getting a lot of vintage pieces, but I love sourcing, and I just found like a new spot that I'm going to try. They had some dresses for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And I said, wait a minute, are you a store? And they're like, yeah, we're a store. And I was like, I'm heading there. Yeah, all rows and rows of vintage. I'm like, and they're like,
is it a thrift store? Or
it's a thrift store. And it's 10 minutes from me. And I'm like, how are you 10 minutes from me?
Isn't it amazing when you find these places and you're like, you've been under my nose for how long? Yeah.
It's amazing to me. Like, what do we have going on over here? Palettes don't appeal to me. Wait a minute.
Heidi said that. I noticed.
Heidi. Palettes don't appeal to me. Too much like unloading a box in someone else's business. I would be afraid for that to back up on a truck and just drop down in my drive. And I'm like, now I have to do something with it. It would frighten me.
There's a part of me that feels like I should maybe experience it, but I just, it's the desire isn't there. Even those pieces, I ended up sending a bunch of them to, whatchamacallit, ThreadUp. I saw he was writing the
Blake says so true. Blake,
that's a good friend. Blake.
Oh my God, seriously. So no, that, you know what? I had my mommy hat on that day. So, you know, I just went, I was like, wait a minute, the guy was pulling the tray away. And I was like, wait a minute, let me grab a couple of these, and I wrapped them up. And Blake happened to be a person I bumped into, and he was like, the desserts look one. I was like, I got you, honey. I got you. So it was just like that. You know, you want to have extra, and your children.
He instantly loved you.
First, you know, and then he was like, oh, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, Blake. So it's like, yeah, and I have a picture with them. So it's like wonderful. It says, where in LA are you, Blake? I live in Ventura. Is it Ventura or Ventura?
Where is
that darn spell correction there?
I don't know.
How's everyone doing? Hello, hello, hello. I'm here with Lori Tata. Hey, Nikki, Glow Girl Glow. How are you today, friend? I saw Heidi. I'm so glad to see everyone. If you have any questions for Lori. So our good friend Hope traveled to Boston to see you.
Oh my gosh.
Like you were having so much fun. What did you guys do?
You know, when it's just so easy with somebody, like we would joke because her father is like, can we trust these people? And my husband's like, who is staying in Angelina's bed? So we would joke, and I'm like, it's totally normal to travel to somebody's house and that we've never met before. Like,
hysterical.
It was a leap of faith, you know what I mean? And but at the same time, it felt so right, you know what I mean? And yeah, we just had a blast. She was hysterical, and it was so nice to just spend time with somebody who does what I do. And like, I didn't have to talk Jay's ear off about something. Like Hope and I would be up so late looking up comps for one another and just like learning from each other. We just had so much fun.
That's because she's hysterical, first of all.
She's so freaking funny. Funny.
Through like her YouTube, she's hysterical.
She says all the things we think, but don't say out loud.
Exactly. And then it's like, so I come on, I don't always think I'm funny. I'm just chill. I'm just me, right? I'm just me being me.
I'm not funny.
She'll send me a message and go, oh my gosh, I'm binging your YouTube channel. I'm like, you're what you mean. You're hysterical. Like the last one,
says what's on her mind.
Kid's name. She couldn't remember her kid's name.
Oh my God, that was so freaking
and
funny.
I sent her a message and said, I have 5. I totally relate to you. I have 3 girls with names just start with S. So I have to go through everyone in order to get to the right one. And they look at you, especially the youngest, I feel bad for. She's like, Mom, that's not me. Well, you know who I'm talking to, right?
You get the point. Yeah. So, it was fun to bring her to some of my favorite spots. And the crazy thing is we didn't even get into Boston. We did not, because one of my favorite spots is like 15 minutes outside of Boston, and she loved it. And we went there. We spent like 5 hours there one day. And the next day she's like, let's go back there. I'm like, girl, it's your trip. Wherever you want to go, I will take you. Can we get off in Boston and take a photograph? We're going to Boston.
Say,
Indiana, like it's fall. Like, how can we not go to Boston?
Yeah.
And it was all about the sourcing. So, and our bins in Boston are closed. So that was like a little, and we didn't want to go to New Hampshire. She flew into New Hampshire. And so we hit like a Savers and a Goodwill and I think a Salvation Army. And, outside of the bins, I personally haven't had like a ton of luck at the Goodwills out up in New Hampshire. I mean, I just think the more metropolitan you are, the closer to Boston and the really nice suburbs that are around there. Those people making their donations are just really good, so that's why. Like Worcester's the same way. Worcester's like the other direction, but I do find stuff in Worcester. I mean, I find stuff everywhere. I really do. But we were really enjoying this one particular store. So, she brought her empty suitcases and she just put as much as she could fit in it. She's like, I pray I don't have to buy a suitcase.
Right. She was in Southwest, right?
So she messaged me because like one of her bags was 47 pounds. Like, 'cause as I'm dropping her off, I'm like, should I wait here? Should I like pack another suitcase in case you don't get on your flight, But she made it.
That is funny, but I love the smaller thrift stores. My concern when I move is that how is the sourcing going to be? I haven't been out, more so because I have really bad allergies too. That's how I figured out I had allergies by just going to the bin so much. So I had to pull back and just started kind of going to the retail store and just limiting my time. But here we're surrounded. I have 2 bins, one 15 minutes away, one 30 minutes away, and then about 8 Goodwills, so many small thrift stores. So when I move to North Carolina, it's going to be like, wow, I know a couple places because my mother's there. We always source when we go. Mm-hmm. And so I know I map it out. You ever do that? You map out.
Oh, yeah.
I hit the stores. And it's great because my husband is a reseller. And then when my daughter goes, it's even more fun because he only likes the bins. He doesn't like the retail stores. He's really particular because he thinks about the money part, right? Mm-hmm. So I have to figure it out. But I did, like, Cynthia's there, and by her being there, she's like, oh yeah, we can go here, And so I'm like, great, we'll figure out some places together. And I'm putting together a North Carolina group because I'm like, I gotta get here and already have like a tribe because I don't want to feel like, I'm 51 moving to another place. That's hard for me, Not that I'm really connected here, but then still, like, my grandbaby's only 45 minutes away. My father's only 45 minutes away.
Yeah. When do you move, Leslie?
Well, we delayed our trip to the spring because what our goal was to rent. Like, there's no way I'm buying a house. I'm sorry. I don't care what the realtor is showing me because I don't want to get you get there and the neighborhood is, you're going like,
Oh, right. You mean when you first get there?
Yeah, when we first get there. So we're just I just want to rent for a year. But now Thomas and I have to figure it out because Thomas will be 63. He has a different mindset than me. Mm-hmm. I live in a nice suburb. I don't want to move from a suburb to the hood, and if you don't know the area. So we went last time, everything that I liked, he didn't like. There was no middle ground. See, so it's like going to be a big challenge because his brother lives in a reasonable kind of trailer park. No,
not happening.
2 houses in my mother's neighborhood. That's where I want to live, But it's just rental. I'm like, for a year, seriously, it's still cheaper than what we pay here, Yeah. But we'll figure it out. So we're going again next month. We have a realtor kind of working, and they're talking about, like, a lot of them didn't want to work with us because they want us to buy. But I don't want to make that commitment because if I buy a house, it has to be specifically for me to grow my business there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even if it's like enough land where I can get like a little building built or something like that. so that I can have this space, because I want to have like a podcast space and, separate YouTube space. I want to bring, local resellers in and have gatherings and things.
Oh my gosh, that would be so wonderful.
That's my goal, interview local, almost like a TV station, local.
Yes. Ooh, I'll fly to North Carolina.
Hey, I'm going to be calling. And so that's my goal. And so we'll figure it out. But like, even my mother was like, you have to find a middle ground. I'm like, Mom, you say that now, but if you knew the neighborhood we were driving in now, so I'm like,
yeah, I think it's really important to just get the lay of the land and just kind of figure out, like, just sometimes it takes like a little coffee shop and a thrift store around the corner. And like,
see, that's my mother's neighborhood. Cynthia was there. She was like, oh, it's lovely around here. And I'm like, well, maybe we have to go the other way. Because where my mother lives,
it's like equidistant.
Nice. Yeah. And when she moved there 10 years ago, like my mother paid $150 for her house. She lives in a beautiful neighborhood. They built a tech company. It's worth 3 times that now. She's got a beautiful house with a building like I want, with electricity and stuff. Yeah, I already know her neighborhood is not where I want to go, but the rental properties that we saw were great for rental. They were still $300 less than what we're paying here. Even all of our insurance and all our utilities would have been lower. But his mind was already set. He's been a parent for 40 years. He's like ready for, but I'm like, hello, your wife is still young and vibrant, So,
I got an agenda. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not.
I'm laughing because I have all this alcohol in back of me. So Jay, look at this. This is our bedroom. My husband, they did promotions at his workplace today. So they did a virtual happy hour and they Venmo'd everybody $50 to go buy the stuff to
have the drinks.
And then 4 of the partners so he did, I think he did a moving up mojito. I think that was his drink to celebrate the people who got promotions, because they can't do anything live. But I'm like a little self-conscious because I have all this booze in back of me.
And you're going like, what's up there, Lori?
I want to know why I don't have a drink. I thought he was going to make me a dark and stormy for this.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so, Daniela.
Hello, everyone. Yes, Lizette has the right idea. She says, hit the thumbs up. And roll that across. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Because I want to tell you, I'm literally 500 watch hours away from being monetized.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic. It is such like, before, but I don't know if I'm going to do, I'm like, it's like a big deal. And this is, I tell people that I took a year off, Lori. YouTube really wasn't for me. So I just put all my attention on Instagram. I came back in May. In May, I literally had 130 subscribers. Now I have 1,080.
Wow.
So it's not like people, they see me now and they think, oh, I've been on here for 2 years. No, I took a whole year off.
Yep.
I was just like, let me just stay on Instagram. It's easy. It's 10-minute videos. But as soon as like COVID hit and stay in, I said, yeah, let me just start doing some stuff. And that's amazing for me. It's amazing that people, and I'm pretty sure you can relate. Like people want to watch me.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of humbling, and it's nice to when people appreciate what you're doing, and you're just kind of doing your own thing. And I feel like I'm in my own little world. She's coming over for taking drinks.
Oh my gosh! So this is like for anybody who's not following Lori. Subscribe to her channel. You should be subscribed because she is like knocking at 10,000 subscribers. She didn't think I knew that, but she's knocking at the door to 10,000. So I watch people from behind the scenes. That's kind of where I'm at. I try to support all my friends. I don't support everyone because some people have that voice, and I'm keeping it real that I just like, it's like chalk, nails on a chalkboard. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do you. I love you. I'm going to stay over here on Instagram with you. And then I have the group that I'm over here on YouTube with. And so Lori's in that group. Her voice is so soothing.
I get that a lot.
She explains everything so well. But I also relate to her because she's in the older age range like me. And the fact that she had to figure out YouTube the way that I'm figuring out YouTube. Like when we first started, we're just on, and now we're figuring out how to get our little pictures up there and all that good stuff. So I'm not alone in there.
No, I remember just being so frazzled by it. And now like I'm one with iMovie. I love my iMovie, but now I'm afraid because I bought Final Cut Pro and I've had that for 7 months, and I'm just sticking with iMovie for right now. I mean, eventually I'll make the change. This was one of the things I did with Hope. Hope used to be a makeup YouTuber, and she got monetized way back when, like a few years back, as a makeup person. So she had my camera. When she came to my house, I have like a vlogging Canon camera, an M50, paid all this money for, and I just looked at it in the box. Like you win, I'm afraid of you. And I would never use it. And she was like, why don't you use this camera? I loved this camera. I sold this camera and got this big, she bought something else that she's not using. So she set the whole camera up for me. And ever since Hope was here, I've just committed to using that camera for everything. And there were a few wonky videos where my coloring was off, but generally speaking now, my volume is so much better. The clarity is nice. And yeah, so that was a Hope thing. Like she totally got me over that hump. And now I use
Hope needs to come here because my daughter, Stacy, who's Peach Boutique, she has 3 YouTube channels. So she does beauty and all. Yeah, she's phenomenal. She does all this beautiful stuff. So when she upgraded, she gave me her Nikon. And it's a wonderful camera. It's sitting back there on my shelf, but my iPhone and we just groove. So if I say to her, sweetie, I really need your help. And she'll go, Mom, A, B, C, and D. And I'm like, I can't do it. So I'll go to YouTube and I'm like, you know what? iPhone 11, we like this. I'm going to just that. I'm just like, no one's complaining. I go in and I edit it. And to me, I'm just like, it is how it is anyway. And that's just the way I'm going to roll. I just piece together. And I want something that says subscribe and thumbs up and everything else.
I did a Skillshare video on how to do that animation that says subscribe. And I didn't even get as far as the thumbs up. I just did the subscribe. But yeah, every step, like right now I'm working on my website and Shopify and it's painful, but I'm getting it. Like learning how to download apps that just make the page a little bit more dynamic. And then some days I just go on Facebook and I'm like, I will pay you any amount of money to do my website for me. And then it's like on my personal, there's a college student down the street and I'm like, please, like just humor me, come over to my house. I'll do anything. But like, so it's now Shopify is like what my YouTube was a year ago.
Yeah, that's
humbling my way through.
That's how it is. My Shopify and we're good friends now. So, Reseller's Passion, same thing. I love the apps. It's that like the commercial. It's an app for that. So if you go into the Shopify store, anything that you want to add, it's there. That's how I'm able to download ebooks and all the digital. All that stuff is there. I
feel like I've just scratched the surface. Like Shopify is so versatile. Like at first I was like, is this limiting me? But then I'm like, I'm just a reseller. Like I don't need anything too big. But now, like I've slowly, like for my consulting and coaching, I was like, how can I figure out how to get people to be able to schedule? There has to be a way because people with Lori, I'm interested. Great. What time works for you? This time works for me. And 30,000 emails.
I know.
And I figured out there was an app for it called Sesame, and people can go in and click, and I can go in and do my schedule. And I was like, wow, that was a game changer for me. So little by little.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, so they pay for it, and because I do the consulting, but I just started a whole nother business. So I'm working on all that. I'm crazy, I know.
Which one?
Well, so basically what I'm doing is I'm actually taking what I learned and taking it to the mainstream. So, and not focusing on resellers. I love the reselling community, but I was on Shailene Johnson. She's Pio and Beachbody.
Oh, yeah.
She's 51 and she does that. But also she teaches people how to, grow businesses from home and things like that. I was on her podcast. Wow. Just from the one episode, I sold 130 ebooks.
Oh my goodness.
I sold 500 altogether, but I sold 130 just from being, and I had about 10 consultations. People were emailing me and DMing me. I've been on people's podcasts, over 50 podcasts that'll be released soon. So I decided, and I'd already know I wanted to do courses and webinars and things like that. So what I just did was I'm not doing Skillshare, I'm doing Podia, which is another teachable platform. And I took my ebook, printed it out, and redid the whole ebook. Like the meat of it is still there, but I made it nicer. The graphics, I fixed words that I probably misspelled, everything. And I'm releasing that at midnight. And that's Podia, yes. And it's going to go on my website too. But I also have 2 courses that are already outlined. I'm going to do webinars. I have a new Facebook group. I have a new Instagram. So it's for people who want to make extra money. I'm going to teach outside people how to resell. And so that's because these people were like,
awesome
they were emailing, like, what are you going to do? Like, we have your book now. Okay, but we need more. So it's going to be like Instagram. It's going to be, and then friends of mine, like, you already have everything on, I teach about YouTube. I teach about, Facebook and Pinterest. So all of that is coming to, and I have my website is called a Reseller's Passion Masterclass. Wow. So
congratulations.
That's
fantastic.
Yeah.
So I want a course with you. I should do a one-on-one with you for Shopify for real.
Yes, we can totally do that, but I would love to have, because what I'm going to start doing also, I have my Facebook group is a Reseller's Passion Masterclass. So within the Facebook group, it's for business people. It's not just for, like, of course, resellers. So women, men, but we'll have lives like this where people will come in and talk about like what they're doing. So it's just going to be amazing. Just, and so
you're going to bring so many other people in.
Yeah. And I had people submit, like, I don't know if Daniela told you, but I'm going to put your Thrifters Villa. She sent me to have that as an ad in the back of the ebook.
Thank you. She showed me that. Yes.
So it's so I told people, I said, imagine 500 people bought it. You know how many eyes are going to be on your ad to, and these are people who want to learn. So they'll be coming to the podcast and the YouTube channels and all of the stores so that they can learn more from sellers. So these are everyday people. Like, you want to make some extra money? And people were just emailing me, and there was a lady, she's like, I just got your ebook. It says you're in Delaware somewhere, but I don't know how close you are to University of Delaware. I'm like, sis, my 2 children went there. My daughter works there. I can walk up the street to University of Delaware. She was super excited. So yeah, it's just been like, how this takes you to another.
Yes, like more opportunities. It kind of snowballs in that direction. And then you have to start making choices about what makes you tick and what you really like and where you want to move from there. And I feel like I deal with that a lot now. Like what is inspiring me and where do I want to focus my attention? And I've given some thought to a second channel.
Nice.
But I don't know. Or do I just want to incorporate a little lifestyle into my current channel and not worry about algorithms and all that stuff and just do me?
That's what I do. That's why I'm a Reseller's Passion.
I think that's what I'm leaning toward.
Yeah. That's why I'm called a Reseller's Passion. I was having this talk with Michelle earlier. We were talking about podcasts and things. It's like, one, our community is a beautiful community, but it can get kind of glitchy because people start like judging you, I really don't care because I'm Leslie. The name I pick is a Reseller's Passion. So when you come to my YouTube channel, you're going to find everything that I'm passionate about. So one day I could be cooking. One day I could be talking about my children. One day, I just dropped the video. I bought some stuff from Imperfect Foods because Blake told me about it. And I cooked a meal for my family. I did it impromptu. So I pieced it together and it's a video over there. I've baked cookies over there. I do all kinds of stuff.
This is all on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, all on my YouTube channel. So it's all the stuff that brings me joy, that brings me passion. I talk about tie-dye and all of that. So that when you create something, you shouldn't just put yourself into a box so that when anybody, so I have people who are non-resellers just coming and going, wait, even Imperfect Food was like, oh my gosh, thank you for cooking with us. So it's that kind of connections that you're making and you never know. And I think we should be getting to that. And we were talking about this earlier, so that a segue into talking about Posh Fest. We were talking about this and I purchased my ticket. I had intended on, attending. I was supposed to go to a Posh party, pre-party tonight. I went last year, Jasmine and the ladies are hosting it. It was an actual red carpet event last year where we walked the red carpet. Sheila DeFrost was the host. I mean, she was the, because the king.
Like the MC.
Yes. So it was a beautiful party. So they're doing that now. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I need to do. Talk to Lori. And then by midnight, I'm just going to hit the button and then my ebook's going to go live. And then tomorrow I got to sit down and make sure. Oh no, I'm going to my daughter. My daughter's graduating college tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
It's wow. Exciting. Yeah. This is my daughter. She'll be 30 years old. She struggled in school forever. She had an IEP. She's not on the spectrum. She just had some learning challenges. And I would cry at the kitchen table with this girl. And she took a 4-year education and turned it into 6 years, but she made it. She got her associate's degree. And because of COVID, she couldn't graduate back in May. She's graduating tomorrow with honors and she's already taking her bachelor's program and just got a new job. So she's a mother. She did all of this. She got pregnant. She's not married. And she did all of this. Like, so when you say a mother's proud, I'm going to be there tomorrow. Like, hey,
that's so exciting. Wow. Yeah. It's sometimes even more meaningful for the ones that had so many challenges along.
And that's the thing. And like, she'll call me and she's like, Mom, because she has her own place. She lives in Philly. And she say, Mom, I got another scholarship. And like, that is so humbling for a person who worked really hard. And now you grasp something, because you can go to school and you don't get everything. There's children who struggle with math, but they could have like an underlying type of challenge. And unfortunately, because it's 30 kids in a class or whatever, they didn't do well in high school or whatever. But then they get to another level and it just clicks.
Yes.
And that's kind of like where she is. She's found this thing. She's got this rhythm. And we're literally just giving her money. She hasn't had to pay for a single bill for college.
That's incredible.
So I think it's such a testament to just who she is. And she's such a wonderful laid back mother. That's why my granddaughter is such a Tara. No. But let's talk about that. Like, so you sell on Poshmark, but you're not attending Posh Fest. You were talking about you tried to get a ticket, but like, was your mindset really there? And what is your focus going forward with Poshmark?
I think I was a little lazy about Posh Fest because I just wasn't as inspired as I would have been if it were in person. I was really excited to go in person. And then, to be honest, I just didn't think it was going to sell out. I was like, it's virtual. I'll get a ticket whenever. And then I couldn't get a ticket. And then all of a sudden I was like, and it wasn't really, I mean, I'm not like worried I'm going to miss anything. I don't really have fear of missing out of a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'm okay with it. Yeah. I'm sad that I can't be there to support my friends.
Exactly.
And outside of that, I'm actually fine. But I look forward to doing it next year because there are just so many people I would love to meet in real life. So that, I mean, I plan to do kind of just keep on keeping on with Poshmark. I do enjoy the platform. I'm challenging myself this month, and I invited people in my little circle who want to join me. This is my big month. I'm trying to have a focus every month on something. I follow this woman named Jessica on Keto Rewind.
Okay.
And she's lost like 125 pounds on keto, and she's really inspiring. And so I do keto, but that's not, every month she has some sort of a goal, and the people in her group follow. So like, if you remember, I did like Thriftless February, and people could join me in that. So this month, my focus is cross-posting.
Nice.
So I'm challenging myself to just cross-post 7 items every single night. That's going to be I may even prioritize that over new listings on Poshmark, just to see how it can impact my business. One other thing, as I said, I was working on my website. So on Monday, I'm launching my first collection. It's all thrifted stuff, but it's just a curated collection. And I'm naming it after the neighborhoods in Boston. So it's going to be my Back Bay collection.
I love it.
It comes out on Monday, and it's basically, Leslie, I just picked 5 colors that are very fall inspired, and I hired an intern. Nice. So one of Angelina's friends who took a gap year, she's going to UMass next fall. She's been working with me. She did some modeling for me today. She's been taking photographs. So that's my big push this weekend, is to get all of those things uploaded. And everything's going to be $50 and under, and $5 shipping. Nice. So there's going to be incentives. So little things like that. I was saying to Blake earlier that I kind of like pretty. I like things to look nice, and I like a certain vibe. So I'm kind of working in that direction on my website to get to that point. And I'm reopening my consultations. I didn't do coaching all summer. And so I opened it up, but I'm only doing Tuesdays. I'm doing 2 appointments on Tuesdays for now. Because I have a YouTube on Wednesday, YouTube on Sunday, intern on Thursday, podcast on Sunday. So I feel like,
I know.
I'm trying to just fit everything in. So I'm going to do consultations again on Tuesday. So I'm just trying to get back into my rhythm now that we have a rhythm again.
Yeah. That's why I decided to kind of go into the course way, and then also I'm going to be working on a mentorship where it's a group of people, because the consult is just too much, especially if it's say for instance you don't have 5 in a week, because you want to make the money for your time. And I'm just if it's sporadic, I just can't do it. And then one week it'll be a lot of people. My time is really precious. So I'm really buckling down on my calendar for the summer. Like you said, it was really casual for me. I took all of August off. I didn't do any videos. I didn't do the podcast, and just took time to really sit back and evaluate what did I want to do. And I went further in September and just said, you know what? I know where I want to be. Now it's time. And here it is, October 1st. And all of those things are being validated based on just confirmation and things that, that I'm putting out there. So it's I love the fact that at 51, until my life is over, it's not over. And I have options, I have choices. And
Oh,
as long as
yeah.
I'm willing to take that step to do some things, it's just so much fun. Like, could you have ever imagined when you started doing this that you went from there to where you are now?
Oh my gosh. No, no. I mean, every day I know this is what I was meant to do, you know, because I just wake up and I want to do it every day. I do feel like I'm getting a little burnt out on YouTube because it's a lot. I think I just need to be more like you in the sense like if it's not edited perfectly, if I say 30 times, it's really okay. Do
Yeah,
something fun, do something off the cuff and just get it up there instead of like stressing about it. And keep I do think I've been really pushing for 10,000,
yeah.
you know, as far as consistency goes.
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
trying to do what I'm supposed to do. And I think once I get there, I might take a little breather like you did in August. I don't know if I'll take the whole month off, but I feel like maybe I should take a little time off to
Right,
regroup and
right,
just kind of reinvigorate, you
right.
know?
Yeah, and that's what if I wasn't trying to get monetized, I wouldn't be doing as many videos as I'm doing now. Now the lives I want to keep doing. I'm doing lives on Tuesday and Thursday. That's an hour or so out of my day. It's not a big deal. I build everything else around it. You know, like the days that I go live, I don't leave the house because I have to make sure I'm doing all the other things so that I can go live. The days that I don't, now I have more flexibility in addition to my work, and I got to try to work out and do all the stuff that I need to do to keep this 51-year-old body going.
Right.
But I think it's really important that you figure out what works for you, because even with the podcast, you know, a lot of people I know have like the headphones and the whole deal. I've been on two people's podcasts, and I'm like talking to them the way I'm talking to you, and they're like, so what? You don't have like a mic or you don't have headphones? And I'm like, okay, I do. Let me just grab them. I'm like, see, so because I get spoiled when we do our podcast, we just turn, you know, we're on Zoom.
Yep. Yeah.
You know?
Same with Daniela.
Yeah. When I tape on my own, I tape right to the app. When I tape with a guest, I'm on Zoom. And I've been doing some of the lives, you know, so I'm like, okay, I got it. I do have my mic. It's right.
You're like,
here.
I can play that game. Yeah.
Hello. So
yeah.
Here, but it's just like I want to bring it, but just be chill about it. I'm like, some people have more numbers than me. That's okay. I just hit 112,000 downloads. To me, for me to be just a reseller who started, I think it's incredible.
It is incredible. It is. You have so much to offer, and you are very broad based, you know. So I think your story appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah. So Thrifters Villa, you and my good friend Daniela. She said, what do you want me to tell Daniela? Is first of all, she's a comedy act just by herself. Like, she'll come to her lives. I'm like, you know what? You are too much. But your podcast is going to be a year old in December.
That's crazy too. Unbelievable. Crazy. I know. And Daniela, the steady Eddie, she has not missed a week. Like I started going every other week, and Daniela has just like really just full speed ahead. You know, she keeps it going. She's awesome.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, because one, I think her because she's like an essential worker. She's out there every day, and I'm like, how do you do it? But then it's Daniela. You know?
Right.
I'll be sitting there like anyone else. Like if you don't have a relationship with someone, anyone else, your phone ding at 11:30 at night, and you're like, who the heck is this? Okay, it's Daniela. I know she's up for another episode.
Right.
Like, she's just texting me. She's, did you hear about that?
She's always on it. I know. I'm like,
no, I didn't hear it. What's going on?
She's got the tea.
She's hysterical. I love her though. She's hysterical.
40 episodes. Is that how many we have, Daniela? That's just, well, it makes sense because it's going to be 52 at the end of the year.
40 episodes.
Yep.
Once a week. Comes out on Mondays. If you're not listening to Thrifters Village, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I would never promote anyone that I didn't believe in. I've been on the podcast, but just the everyday conversation that they have is just amazing. And I think it's incredible. When they told me they were going to do this podcast, I thought it was great. I was like super excited.
You were so supportive.
You know, these two beautiful Italian women, you know.
That was our first bond.
Yeah, so I just think it's incredible. Yeah, we know you don't stop. She says I don't stop ever. We know that.
I feel like the concept of Thrifter's Villa and how we really wanted to just design a podcast that people felt like they were part of the conversation. I feel like that's really held true. And I think that that's probably the most positive feedback we get about it, that people want to be a fly on the wall,
Michelle says, I was at first afraid to show all the facets of my life. And when I started following Leslie's journey, she has inspired me. Well, really, that's my goal, just to show up intentionally and be myself. And fake who I am. And I said, and some people, when you say something, they're like, oh my gosh, it shocks you. I'm a Black lady who's bald. I'm 51 years old. I have 5 children. I've been divorced twice. I'm like, that's just my story. Yeah. And the reason that I tell my story is because, one, I'm not embarrassed about it.
Nor should you be.
From there to here has been such a crazy, phenomenal journey. I got 5 humans out of the deal. I can't beat that. So I just think that if you continue to show up and reveal what you want to reveal, it's going to touch people. Incredibly.
And you don't know who it's going to touch. And I say this all the time. Yeah. People who are like perfect are extremely boring to me. Extremely boring. Like, I actually really love flawed people who just own it. Like, we're all flawed. So that would be everybody in the human race. But you know what I mean? I just love people's quirkiness. I love when Hope starts the video and says she's not wearing a bra. I love that Blake sings in the kitchen and that, all the stuff that makes us who we are. I mean, that's what I feel is special. Like, I'm not into I don't know. Perfection is just not my thing, and I'm kind of bored by it.
Yeah, I believe you. I agree with you. Anybody have any questions for Lori? Anything you want to ask her? If you're not following her, follow her. Hit the thumbs up. Put your information in the comments real quick so that everybody can grab your information. Leslie's goals are for sure. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I love you, friend. I love you. Nikki's one of those people who just reached out to me, and she didn't know she'd be a part of my community.
Nikki just connected with Lisette, right? Did they not get together?
Yeah, Nikki had a challenge. I'm pretty sure Daniela told you about that. So you can talk to Daniela. I don't want to announce anything until Nikki puts it out there, but
Gotcha.
She had a death in her family, so Lisette went out there to
okay. All right. I'm so sorry, Nikki.
Yeah, but all these beautiful people, just the fact that you show up is amazing. You're literally taking time out of your day to watch people talk on the screen who aren't, these beautiful Hollywood people. I know they're beautiful, so not to take away from that, but if someone were to see me, and that's what I talk about, though. It's so empowering for me, especially a person like Nikki who comes on and says, wow, I did a double take because it was this woman who was on there just being herself. And I'm like, I can't be anyone else. But people will send me messages. Oh, you're so bold. I'm like, I'm not bold. I'm bald. So but that's my reality. Some people wear wigs. I don't. My daughter has the same alopecia, and I feel really bad for her because she's 18 and she's going to be eventually bald like this. She wears wigs, and that works for her. Yeah. So I just think if you just show up intentionally.
For sure. Yeah. We're too old to,
Seriously. We don't have time. Last night I went live because I did the giveaway for the ads. And there was this guy that came on. He had sent me a DM, am I interested in buying something? And he had commented on one of my comments. So he jumps into my live and says, oh, I sent you a message. Would you be interested? I'm like, dude, this is not the place for you to be advertising. And people are really sending me all these hearts. Because someone else would probably see that. No, don't be advertising your stuff on my live. Go away, dude.
That's weird.
That's what I said. It's you just be real. Don't let somebody step over you.
Yeah, that's true. Not right now, sir. I do think the time thing is tricky. I think, you were saying about the consultations, I prefer quirky people too.
Weirdness. We're weird. That is
with the consultations, I can see why you would go the course route, because I have noticed that there are themes in every coaching session that I do. And a lot of people are asking the same question. I'm kind of giving the same answers, obviously tailored in a nice personal conversation style, but a lot of people have the same concerns. And if you could address that on a more broad base.
Well, that's what Denali just did. She's releasing her course for, how to hire a VA.
Right.
And I just figured what works for you. And that's the reason why I'm going to the mainstream, because I even explained to the people in our community, most of the people I consult aren't even resellers. I talk to people because I belong to other groups and other businesses. And I had no intention of doing that. I was on a Zoom call with a group that I belong to. and I was answering questions, and I was just being a part of the conversation. And literally 5 people sent me a message when it was over. And I was like, oh, well, but you're already, I consulted a consultant who'd been in business for 23 years. So
wow.
me, that spoke a lot. Yes. And then different people. And I was like, wow, I really like this. So let me now kind of see what I can do. So when, if the reselling community is looking for something different, I don't try to sell myself. I just, give all the, as much as I can and try to encourage them. I want people to go live. I want them to step out of the comfort zone. I think
I love how people in your group have been going live on Instagram.
Oh my God. I told them, I said, okay, I have something for you to do.
That's a great assignment.
They were like, what? I said, you're going to partner up, come up with a topic, and you're going to go live. And then the next time I said, good, you did this for 2 weeks. Now you're going to do an IGTV video. They're like, what? And then I always get
I've never done an IGTV.
But you're on YouTube though. So you already did a video. And now this was like for people who have not, that was the thing. Cause I don't know how it was when you first started. So people are always saying, oh, God, I want to go live like Michelle. I want to go live, or Dresden Avenue, Margaret. I want to go live. And I said, Margaret, just do it. I said, go look at my first YouTube video where I just sat and started talking. And she says, I still look at that video and I can't do it. I said, Margaret, you can do it. Put a date on your calendar. So she sent me a message and she says, okay, today when my husband comes home, I'm going live. People say that all the time. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then think anything
and
about
then it popped up.
She tagged me. Here's my first video, Leslie. And now she's just been going crazy ever since. She unboxed.
Oh, that's so good.
A 300, whatever piece. She got this huge, that $300 box from ThredUp, and she unboxed that on live yesterday.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
What's funny is I'm a little apprehensive about IGTV and lives on Instagram. I think because it doesn't have like the editing feature that I have on YouTube where I can have it be. So that's kind of one of my goals.
Well, when I do IGTV, I actually create the video the same way I do on YouTube and edit it, and then
it's
that's better. 10 minutes. So like if I do an unboxing, I do the longer version on YouTube because eventually Instagram is going to be monetized. It already is. They just came up with badges now. People can send you a badge for your live. They have that for IGTV. So I just experienced it 2 weeks ago. I went live and people just sent me money.
Wow.
So they have badges. Now, eventually the videos are going to be getting monetized. So they're slowly rolling things out. So I haven't been making the long videos on IGTV, but what I do is I make a teaser because I don't know what they're going to do. And I still want to be a part of that because I have 180 IGTV videos. Wow. So yes, that's why I said for that year, I stayed over there. So now when I make a video here on YouTube, I just put like a little bit between 1 minute and 5 minutes on IGTV. And I said, if you want the whole video now, you have to go to YouTube. So that's also how I get subscribers. They get there and they go, oh my gosh, you had me at, and then, so if I unbox
that's really interesting. You're so good. You're a marketing genius.
I have to do I create one piece of content and then because my Instagram is attached to my Facebook page.
Right.
So as soon as I post something, it goes to Facebook. And that way people are like, how you get so much done? I create one piece of content and I send it all different kinds of places. I take pictures and videos all day long. If I'm out, I'll take stories all day long and then I just release them because I do it as videos. I don't do it as an actual story. And so that way I can release it when I want to.
All the places.
I have content on my iPad or my phone, no matter what, so that
I want to have a content creation weekend where we do breakout sessions with like Pinterest. Like, let's work on Pinterest for 3 hours. Let's work on IGT, like all these things. Like, let's work on our websites. That would be valuable to me.
That would be phenomenal. Like, I just had Tennille on, who is a Pinterest expert. She was on Tuesday. A Pinterest person. Yeah. So that
is that on your YouTube channel?
On my YouTube. I was like her. Yes, that was awesome. She was the person who reached out to me because I was on that on Shaylene's podcast, and I said to her, "Oh, let's collab," and she was like, "Huh?" And I was like, I built my business specifically. I use Pinterest every day. The analytics from Pinterest, it brings business to me.
I'm missing that boat too.
Yeah, so definitely watch that video. It's simple. It may take you 2 days to kind of set it up because I know Daniela tried, but I guarantee you, if you take a couple days, you don't have to do like me. I have a board for everything. So say how you have your YouTube channel, you create a board and I pin the episodes. But what happens is when somebody types in reseller videos, you'll come up.
It's a search engine. I don't know why I'm not using it.
Every podcast episode is pinned to my Pinterest. It shows my demographic comes from Twitter and Pinterest, not from Instagram.
Wow.
So it's like that. So the analytics, just like with the dashboards and all that, if you know where your numbers and where your audience is coming from, you know where to target. And Pinterest breaks everything down to you to tell you how many times that person clicked on that one actual pin. When I first released the ebook, February I released it. By June, it showed me that 5,427 people clicked on that link that I shared for my ebook.
Wow.
And like 800 people went to the website. So that's just to keep it in perspective. I sold 500 copies of an ebook that people think, oh, it's just for new resellers. If I'm an everyday reseller, everything that I give you on the podcast and YouTube is what you're going to get in the book.
That's phenomenal, Leslie. Again, I think I overthink it. I want it to look a certain way and blah, 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 blah. But like, just go.
But that's your thing though. And that's, I just say whatever. Also time after a while, you go, you know what? Where do I want to put the most of my time?
Right.
For videos, it's hard for me. So what I have to do, if I do an unboxing or something, I'll sit and do 4 videos in one sitting. Mm-hmm. So the last few videos I did, I had on the same shirt. Ain't no shame in my game. And then I come to the last one and I went, phew, yes, I did sit here and do 4 videos. And yes, this is the same shirt. That's how I do it. And it's like, I'm like, oh, the train's going in the back. I'm not editing it. Because it's like every time I sit here, it could be 8 o'clock in the morning or 12 noon. And that train, for some reason, turns away. Oh, here comes my trash guy.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And it's
For me, it's my dogs there. And they bark every time I sit down and they know as soon as I turn the camera on, it's time to bark.
Okay, so we'll take 2 questions and then we'll let Lori and Leslie, how many hours are left for you?
I don't sleep too well. I really don't. I don't. I slept really well 2 nights ago and I felt like I could conquer the world yesterday. And then last night was like a 6 and I wake up and the phone's right there. Jay's like, just put the phone away. And I just go through the things, and so I don't know. I'm not as put together as Leslie.
No, I'm not put together there. No, I will not. Let me tell you, I will never lie to you. The first thing that people ask me, what is your schedule? Now I had to start getting back into a schedule. And now, we'll talk about that in a minute. I have to start getting back to a schedule. That's the first thing. I don't have any little children, so my schedule's my own.
Right.
Different.
That makes a huge difference.
Right. Huge I don't have to, even last year, this time when my daughter was a senior, I would really just lift my head up and make sure she was moving around at 6 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. I lay back down, maybe share my closet, and I go back to bed because she was a senior. I didn't have to worry about her. Same now, I have to get up for no one. So I literally have my own schedule. But now with all these businesses that I'm adding, I want to get up just a little bit early because I have in the morning when my coffee is going, I do something in that 10 minutes time. Mm-hmm. And then I may go over just a little bit if I'm like, I have 2 more photos to take. But that's what I do. I take photos in the morning. I steam in the morning. Coffee's done. I'm done. I grab some stuff, come upstairs with my coffee. I sit down at my desk and I go to work. Yeah. And then I have a time that I do my videos and things like that. Sometimes I just do whatever I want. So But I don't go to bed until probably 1 o'clock in the morning. But then if I get up at 8 and I go, you know what? I'm a little tired. I'm going to lay back down. Or I'll lay there, read a book, or I'll listen to some music. The cool thing is I can do whatever I want to do.
Yeah. We have a lot more flexibility. Yeah, going to school remotely, it's interesting because he'll roll out of bed and hop on. He's taking his classes in Anthony's room. And I'll be downstairs doing my own thing and I'll think, oh my gosh, I'm used to making him lunch and the door and having breakfast ready. And he's not much of a breakfast person. So I don't sleep till like 9:30, but it's different.
My only challenge is it's not a lot of rooms in our house. My daughter shares a room and I have a bedroom. It's an office and we have our bedroom. So normally what happens is if I'm not up and in my room, she's like, Mom, okay, this is the date I'm taking a class. I can't move. So I'll be stuck out of my office until 11 o'clock. So I have to send a message and let her know, look, like this morning, I'm like, you'll have to be downstairs. She's like, you're not even in your office. I'm like, because I am making coffee right now. Okay. It's like 9:30.
That's with the coffee, girl.
I'm like, I gotta have my coffee. I'm going back to my office. Look. But let's talk about something that I just came across that I was gifted with and found out that you absolutely love. Let's talk about the Passion Planner, girl.
Oh my gosh, I know. Isn't it wonderful? What? It seems so corny that it would make such a big difference. Isn't the daily awesome?
I bought the daily because you were talking about the daily.
Mm-hmm.
Nora gifted me. This is the funny thing. This shows up at my house. I'm calling everybody. Did you send me a passion planner? Did you send me a passion planner? People are like, what? Because it was my birthday. I'm like, no one knows anything. So I have spent, Nora comes on the Spanish girl chat and says, oh, you should be getting a package in a couple days. I'm like, Nora, it was you.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you got it already? I'm like, yes, I've been calling people. They think I'm crazy. So she sent me this one. And thankfully it's just blank, which
undated.
I love that because they just came out with 2021 and I'm like, oh, that looks good. But no, I like this. And so I can do the month. And then with the daily, if I don't get to it every day. So Lori talked about her daily and I went and purchased, I'm an ambassador. So I used my discount.
Yes.
Hey. And which was really funny is that you were talking about how they didn't initially pick you.
Yes.
As soon as I applied, I didn't even know it was a thing. I'm all about, which you probably are too, that if you're going to do something, why not find out if they have an affiliate program?
Right.
That's what I do now.
Well, they have the affiliate program, but then the ambassador program was like, I don't know, that I didn't make it through that first round, but then they opened it up a little bit more. And that's when they asked me to be they accepted my ambassador application.
Okay. So I thought they would have said, like, I didn't know that. I just happened to ignore she gifted, like I didn't buy it. And I was like, oh, let me go see what they have. I went and applied. I got the email the next day. And then you said after that you've been loving it. And I'm like, I'm just finding out about it. But I'm glad because I love everything that's going on. I haven't been able to do as much as I like.
I know, me too. I'm like overwhelmed by I want to be a better ambassador.
Yes.
They are constantly releasing things.
I know, like last month it was I wanted to write about grace. I'm like, I just can't keep up.
I know. that has to be a priority for me this month as well. Like I posted today in my stories, but like I haven't even done my big, they give you all these assignments that you can earn points or whatever. And
I know
they're not going to hire me back next year.
I know. And look, I'm not even paying attention. I'm like, oh, a couple of people bought some. I'm just like, I just don't have, it's great. That was, I posted today, but it literally is like a lifesaver. The prompts in the big one at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I know I have to do my reflections today
reflections. I'm like, seriously. I even talked about that in my post. One of the reflections. What did I learn?
Yep.
Last month, that's different this month, or something like that. And I paraphrased it, but oh my gosh. So
I want to share on one of my YouTube videos what I wrote in my passion planner. I believe it was August of 2018, and it was put in your notice at American Girl, because you know how it has the roadmap
graphic,
the passion roadmap where it says
the passion roadmap in front, right?
It has like 3 months, 6 months, a year, and 5 years, and it's a map. So I remember the timeline, and I was like, I want something with my own business. I had a blog before called Tata for Now, or my last name is Tata, so it's Tata for Now. And I did like furniture restoration, but I had a blog, I paid for the website, and then I never really got it off the ground. But I just always knew there was something like this out here for me, and I just didn't know what it was. But I wrote it in my passion planner. And I have these timelines there, and now I reflect back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did give my notice. I did start a business. I did post I remember it was like, post your first YouTube video by this date. And maybe I didn't hit the dates exactly,
right.
But now that I reflect, I've I've kind of checked all those boxes, and I'm like, okay, time for a new roadmap. Like, where am I going next?
Amazing.
Yeah. And I really credit it.
Yeah, and like Daniela jokes about hers because you can get caught up like in the stickers and all that. The days that I want to have fun, I'll just sit there because I'm very creative anyway. So I love, if I feel like a bit of stress or something, then I turn to the creative side of me. That's why I tie-dye, that's why I crochet, because I'm not a person that really gets depressed or anything, because I know how to turn it off.
Yep.
And so like this right here, I'm like, I can color the pages all day long.
So
and I love how you put photos and all that. I was like, yeah, that's beautiful. If I can do it today, I do. Today was just plain writing down, but then I can go back to it. But then I have like cute little stickers, and I bought these.
I love those bookmarks.
I bought these on Etsy like 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I could totally use them in my planner. Like,
they're
so
cute.
They're adorable. I have a ton of them. I just stick them on the pages for me to remember. But then this, and something as simple as this, I used to journal, and I was like, Nora really just like, that's how she's listening to me, or just like how the group, when you have a tribe of people who care about you, they hear what you're saying, you know. And also, you know, not that I try to jump into a leader role. I happen to be a leader, I guess. But what I loved about what Nora did was she recognized that I needed something for me. Like, I'm not always the one. It seems like every day I'm that person. And I try to be. I'm like, I am not down. I love life, and I love smiling and having a good time and joking. But I can have my days too that I'm missing my kid. You know, it's different things that I go through. So that was such like the perfect thing.
Yes.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, where has Passion Planner been? And I'm like, Lori has, seriously, if you knew, I should have sent you a message like, Lori, like, you have a Passion Planner. Like, I just that one, but I'm like, they've been around.
They've been around. She started as a kickstart. Her story is fascinating. The founder of the company, and they started as a kickstart. And then, like, I love that you can print the pages to try things out. You can try different sizes. But yeah, I think this is like my 3rd or 4th year. I've always been like, I did the mom agenda when my kids were little. And then I transitioned to Erin Condren planners. Hers are like a little busier, but I loved that. I did that for a few years. And then when I found Passion Planner, I'm like, that's it, because it's very minimalist if you want it to be. And I did Creative Memories for 10 years. I was a scrapbook consultant. So for 10 years, I feel like these are just like little spreadsheet, like layouts that I can do like a scrapbook if I want, which is why I'm incorporating some memories.
That's what I really love. I loved how you had like the pictures of your children, you had your dog. It was just amazing. So when I saw it, I'm like, wow. And so some days I get to where I'm drawing flowers and everything, but some days I'm like, you know what, today I just got to really business.
Oh, totally.
So that's why the daily worked, because if I stayed with that monthly, I'd be coloring all day long. Then they have the lines in the back. I would be totally done all day long with the big one. So I said the daily, I can really pinpoint what I need to do because I keep a clipboard. That's what I carry. I said I traded in. Like, I keep this is what I walk around with all day long, a clipboard.
Wow.
Notes. That's what I'm a paper and pen girl. So when I got this, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, the daily really, really helps me focus. Yeah. So the bigger album, I do like my overview. But like today I had Lindsay at my house and I knew I had to prep for my thing on Monday. And I have like everything that needs to get done. Very specific, and actually carried over a little bit from yesterday. Like, I started that checklist, and so I used my daily like 2 days in a row, and I might not pick that up again until Monday, you know.
That's what I love about the daily, because I sat down yesterday and I did the whole month. I filled in October, kind of made it a little cute.
Ooh, I'm jealous. I want to do that tomorrow. I love doing that.
I still have to do my reflections from September, but my September was all pretty and cute. But I didn't get a chance to do as much. And I'm like, you know what? At least I did it. At least I put the numbers in, because September, look, it was all pretty and flowers.
Oh, that's so pretty.
But October, well, then again, I still did some stuff for October. I mean, that's September. So
no planner guilt. They talk a lot about that.
Exactly. No planner guilt. So I put it like a Posh Fest sticker.
I saw that on your post today.
That came in with the stuff we got. So
you know, if it's going on the gram, it's going to be a little cuter then.
So that's the thing. And everything's plain. I didn't color it or anything, but I said I at least have the numbers in, and I have to have that month. And then I have a big giant calendar right in front, right over my television. So I see that every single day.
That's so good. The more I write it down and the more places, the more likely it is to stick, right?
But it's a kindred spirit thing. It's like amazing to me.
For sure. And I love, I'm actually going to do a giveaway when I hit 10,000. I have a black, undated, classic, large book. So that's one of the things I'm going to do as part of my 10K giveaway.
We should probably try to figure out a way we could do something together with our Passion Planners. That would be
a blast.
And then eventually, I would like to do in a few months. I got to get myself situated, because they have the. It would be nice to raise a little money or something, because they have the buy one give one. I would love to bless some people with a planner. I love that. I want to get a little bit more. I'm always about giving back anything that I can. And
you know what you're doing right now, Leslie, that we could probably use some of our like affiliate things, is if you buy 3 dailies, you get a free one.
Nice.
So it'd be like a $90 investment.
Yeah, we are affiliate, and then they were having a sale too. So that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. I'm going to
and where the daily, for those of you who are listening, it does 3 months at a time. So it's undated, and you fill in the months you want. Like, I didn't even fill in the monthly calendar in my daily for September. I didn't even fill it out because I have my bigger one.
Yeah.
So I might get 4 months out of my daily because I don't write in it every single day. So it's so customizable. And that's why the black one that I have to give, I love the daily so much. And the right-hand side is all bullet, just dots. So if you're into bullet journaling, or if you just want to doodle on that side, or just, do whatever you need to do. And the left-hand side is your structure.
And then you have your structure. And that's what I like. And if people are really, really structured, it has your time, so you can write down, like if you need to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, you can write that down. Like today I wrote down, look, I cross-listed. I had to make sure I got this vintage listed because I take photos and I have a structure that it has to get done because my office was getting junky. Yeah. So I was like, look, before I go to bed, I'm doing this vintage. So it's on there. So when I open up, I'm like, okay, it says list that vintage. It's right there. It says cross list and relist. It's right there on there. My ebook and my email list, that's all. This is today. And Live with Lori at 8 o'clock is right on there as well. So, and then some extra stuff in red, so this is perfect. Yeah. And I like that. So I wrote down 3 dailies because I would love to do that. But also for people who, just want some reflection. I do hear about some other planners. I've used planners, but the thing with this planner also is I've been journaling since I was young, but I stopped years ago. This is like 2-in-1. Like you don't have to write like a whole journal page. You can jot something down, just a daily reflection.
But you can still use it like a diary. And I pull out my old ones and reflect. And I'm not a huge journaler, but I'm like a memory keeper. So like, I think that's where my pictures come in.
Yeah. Well, this is with the daily. So like real quick, it says like down at the bottom, which I really like, because at first it says today's focus, whatever your focus is, it's the daily. Then it says your game changer goal, something personal, something work, free space to write some stuff. And then right there, I outlined my courses, but self-maintenance, exercise, meditation, I wrote. Best thing that happened, my son Craig called me. And today I learned cross-listing works because I just started using List Perfectly.
Nice.
And, today in one word, relax. And then they have smiley faces based on what.
Oh, yeah, like your mood.
So there you go. You don't even have to write just that. And like, look at how beautiful. But
yeah, it really kind of guides you through.
And this is a whole video and a whole conversation. And I keep saying I'm coming with a passion planner video, but I really, until I started talking with Lori about it now, I was like, you know what? I already got the video. It's just giving someone that space. But before I do the video, I think I'm going to order some
I think I want to order some dailies because they have the different colors and they're undated. So whatever I don't give away, I can gift them at Christmas. So like, I think I might take advantage of the sale. And one other thing is that when I can't sleep at night, I've been trying to swap my phone for my planner.
Nice.
Because the blue light and the constant need of the computer or phone can keep me up. And I find that if I go to my planner, even if it's at midnight and I'm unsettled and I just write a few things down for the next day, it just settles me because I'm like, okay, even if I table this till tomorrow, I'm not going to forget it. Yeah. This has kind of relaxed me a little bit. And so I've been trying to do that a little bit at night to prep me for the next day. And it's been really nice.
And I'm seeing, Lori, we're more alike than we thought. I do the same thing. I'll have like some Post-its, but I'll bring my planner, I'll work in that, and then I read before I go to sleep. And that really
so much better than the phone. The phone is still there sometimes.
I bring them just because just in case one of my children call, but it's not a focus of mine. I let it go and I'm done. And then I wake up the next morning like, who thought I was up at, like, why do you think you know me that well that you should be sending me a DM at this time of night? Like, seriously, but I know what's down on the West Coast, that kind of thing. So, but everyone, I want to thank you so much. Who's this? Okay. Deja Vu Vintage. Thank you so much. Oh yes, definitely get into your handmaids. It's find something that brings you joy, something creative. And creative, people always think creative is something that you do with your hands. Your mind is constantly growing and you're learning. Whatever you learn can become that thing for you. Digital downloads, ebook, create courses. If you sew, if you knit, if you crochet, woodwork, stickers, think back to when you were a child, something that you loved. Don't overthink it. It is there. Write down. I tell my children, write down 5 things, research them, narrow it down. That one thing will come to mind. I wasn't tie-dyeing until May. I started tie-dyeing in May. It became a business. I made $1,500 in July, just putting some color on a shirt in Etsy store.
Fantastic.
So you never know. And I was a handmade seller beforehand. My crochet business, I still made more money because I know how to work the analytics and the SEO and everything in Etsy. So Etsy is always going to be my fallback plan. And there you go. I haven't lost what I knew.
That's right. But it's nice to go back to that stuff, you know.
So try it. You can't do something if you don't try. So just do the things you think you cannot do, friends. And we want to thank everybody for coming.
Thank you so much for tuning in and staying with us. This was great. I see some new people in the comments. It's
thank nice. You. I like dreams. Everyone is coming in late. Thank you, Daniela. We love you, Rhonda.
Love you, Daniela. Go get the daily, Daniela.
Yes, Daniela, get the daily. That big one, I love it. But I was like, I'm going to trug this around. I don't want to hurt Nora's feelings. But then I was like, I got it.
Oh, but they're both good. I can't live without the big one either.
I love them both.
I love them both.
And you don't have to give yourself a headache. You can decide, but the daily is like my go-to. I flick it and there you go. I got to get it done.
It is.
So, friends, love you, Daniela. Mwah.
Good night, everybody.